All right. What's up, everybody? All my people in Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, a lot of Staten Island, my homeborough, Brooklyn. Back here is going to be part two to the entry of the greatest of all time series on Mr. Tupac Shakur. Now, this is going to try to get into the second half of his career before his untimely death. Okay, of course, we all know he and Biggie Smalls were friends for years. They were friends in '93. In fact, there was a picture released a couple years ago of Pac in a Bad Boy T-shirt. Of course, we all know this infamous picture. Pac flipping off the camera, him and Biggie. Of course, there's a video on YouTube you up of them freestyling together. And, they did a song together that didn't get released until the Tupac Resurrection documentary that got released. That was the documentary on Tupac I forgot to mention in part one of this video. But yeah, everything was going good and well until this happened. He met this broad, Ayanna Jackson, whatever you pronounce her name, and she accused Pac of raping her, setting her up to be raped, and of course he got convicted for that shit. And I believe he got sentenced to 9 years in jail? 9 years, something like that. He got sentenced to some amount of time in jail. Of course, in jail, the aftermath of this sexual assault thing, he'd gotten shot. And he believed Biggie set him up. And we all know that story. I'm not going to really get into all that, but he got shot and robbed. He thought Big set him up. And of course, in jail, someone from death row, I believe, got into his ear saying, man, Big set you up. Of course, at this time, Biggie had released Who Shot Ya. And, who shot ya? Separate the weak from the obsolete. Hard to creep them Brooklyn streets, Fuck all that bickering beef, And Pac thought was a subliminal diss track at him. Now, according to Biggie and Puffy, that they had recorded that song months ago, early before. Again, I'm not trying to get into all that. But yeah, he was in jail. Someone from Death Row got into his ear. And of course, at the time he was locked up, this came out. His album, Me Against the World, his third studio album, which is arguably his best album, his magnum opus. His best work from top to bottom, arguably. I think his best work, arguably, And of course, it had the legendary song, Dear Mama. Even though you was a crack fiend, mama, you was a black queen, mama. Tupac was under that mother goddess worship programming shit. Okay, he was under that heavily, but it is what it is. But of course, he eventually got out of jail. He ran out of money. He was broke. He spent all his money trying to fight that sexual assault case, and of course, Suge got him out of jail if he signed with Death Row, and he did. In more ways than one. Got out of jail, went to the route, death row. As Dr. Dre would say. It's Dr. Dre, Snoop, Suge, and Pac. Suge and Pac, of course, after he got released, they went on to release Pac's song, California Love. California Love, down in, G-Funk, classic West Coast anthem. And of course, remember, this is at the height of the East Coast, West Coast beef. Okay, the East Coast, it was really Bad Boy versus Death Row, not really whole East versus West. The media hyped it up, East versus West, New York City versus LA, blah, blah, blah. It was nothing like that. It was really Death Row versus Bad Boy, but whatever. The media hyped that shit up. But anyway, back in this, he went on to release a couple more singles. Goes California Love, Adventures as a Rider, How Do You Want It? That all led up to this. His legendary album, All Eyes on Me. Okay, which is my favorite Tupac album. It's a double album. I really don't listen to double albums like that, but I can listen to this one. Because track one, because disc one, disc two, side one, side two, however you want to say it, is just off the charts. It got bangers, got club anthems, got songs that make you feel happy, songs that make you feel sad, songs that make you think. That's what the greatness of Tupac. He can make you feel and really just any great writer, great artist. He can make you feel how he wants you to feel based off of his work, whether it's music, paintings, film, whatever. That's the greatness of a great visionary, of a great talent. Tupac definitely was that. See him here going over the death row, with the death row train over the West Coast hand sign, and all that shit. Ambitious as a Rider. This has all his classic junks. Like I said, man, Ambitious as a Rider, California Love, How Do You Want It, two of America's Most Wanted with Snoop Dogg. Ain't nothing but a gangster party. Shit was just fire. Song debuted at number one in 1996. I have to go through that. I gotta do a video on 1996. 1996 probably the greatest rap year in history of hip hop. Not to get off track, but All Eyes on Me came out that year. Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z's album came out the year. It Was Written, Nas' album came out the year. That, in my opinion, is his best album. It Was Written. Mobb Deep dropped Hell on Earth. Outkast dropped AT Aliens. Of course, the Fugees dropped The Score. UGK dropped Riding Dirty. 3 6 Mafia dropped Chapter 1, The End. You know, Ghostface Killer dropped Iron Man. Like, so many great albums came out that year. You know, I'll probably do a video on 1996 rap year. But, yeah, of course, you know, at this time, there was a woman by the name of C. Dolores Tucker C. Dolores Tucker, if you're a real hard body hip hop head, she's probably one of the most hated people in the history of hip hop, if not the most hated, male or female, black or white. C. Dolores Tucker is probably one of the most hated person in hip hop ever. Okay, and she'd been coming at Tupac mainly, you know, saying gangster rap is obscene, it glorifies violence and misogyny, and look, in a rational mind, yes, okay, it's misogyny and violence and this gangster shit, this hood shit. That good? No, good. It absolutely it isn't. But you know, I already did that. I already explained why there's a misogyny in hip hop. Okay, I did 2 videos on that. You can go check them out on my channel. But you see right here, banned gangster rap. She been coming at Tupac. You know, this is the reason why Tupac wrote that song. Keep your head up. Try to prove to the Lord sucker. Look, I don't hate the ladies. Ladies ain't bitch. All these ain't bitches and hoes. You know. Of course, you know, it's on How Do You Want It, you know. See Dolores Tucker use a motherfucker instead of trying to help a nigga, you destroy a brother. You know, everybody took shots at this bitch. Tupac did, Jay-Z did, Lil Kim did, The Game, Lil Wayne, Eminem took a shot at her. Like, everybody came for this bitch. Like I said, she's probably the most hated person in the history of hip-hop, male or female. Okay, probably more than Donald Trump and probably more than the police. Okay, but as 1996, Tupac had reached superstar, global star level. He had all types of friends: Marlon Wayans, Jim Carrey. Of course, we all know a couple years ago got revealed he had a thing with Madonna. Disregard that. And of course, one of his close friends was Iron Mike Tyson, the heavyweight champ of the world. I believe at this time, if I remember correctly, he was the heavyweight champ. Of course, we all know he wrote the song for Mike Tyson, "Troublesome," 1996, and he also did a song "Ambitious as a Fighter," which was a Mike Tyson remix of that song "Ambitious as a Rider." I think it's still unreleased, but I haven't heard it. If you've heard it, if it's somewhere on YouTube, let me know. Drop a link to it in the comment section down below. But yeah, they were close friends. Of course, we all know Pac was at the Mike Tyson fight in 1996. Okay, on September 7th, 1996. He performed "Troublesome." It was in Vegas, the MGM Grand, and of course, there he encountered Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, the man who had stolen. And again, I'm not really trying to talk about all this. You know, it's a deep rabbit hole. But you know, if you know the story, Baby Lane Anderson had jumped some blood who was affiliated with Death Row, jumped him, stole his chain, and Pac saw Baby Lane and decided to jump his revenge. You know, again, I'm not trying to get into all that. But Baby Lane was just gonna sit there and take that shit, and we all know what happened. Stoplight on the way to the club that him and Suge were headed to. See him in the car, Suge Knight, his Bill Cosby sweater, Pac in his green jersey, and Kadada Jones, of course, who was his girlfriend, daughter of Quincy Jones, who he was with at the time, wanted him to wear his bulletproof vest. Obviously, he didn't. Probably should have. Again, that's a deep rabbit hole. And of course, he got shot. He was in the hospital. 6 days later, on September 13, 1996, Tupac Shakur was dead at the age of 25. The height of his career, the height of his prime, he was dead. He was gone. All right, that's probably going to be it for part 2, right? See you all.